Welcome back to our podcast where we have today Philip, who is joining us from Netherlands and has been doing Revive since about last summer. Welcome, Philip.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ken.
So maybe just tell us a little bit about your story, kind of what brought you to Revive and how's it been going?
Yeah, so I have quite a long story, to be honest, but I will try to keep it short. Around 2018, I had a dental, kind of like a medical failure with dental crowns, actually on my front teeth and the teeth beside my front teeth. That went completely wrong. It was not fitted right into my mouth, all this kind of stuff. So my whole bite was completely messed up. And for a couple of years, I was really struggling with my health. But I didn't know it was because of the bite. I knew it was kind of related to that incident that I had. And so for years, I tried to find answers. And then lately now, since the last year, I 100% know it was because of my jaw, basically.
Okay, so this happened you said 2019?
2018, at the end of 2018, yeah. I'm 36 now, I was 28 then.
You're 36 now and you were 28 then?
Yeah.
Okay, so why did you need the procedure? Like what triggered that?
No, that's I was actually thinking about it earlier. I didn't need the surgery. I didn't need it. It was because I was doing a lot with appearance. You see on the TV with the Hollywood smile, all this kind of stuff. And I was a bit influenced by that. And I wanted to change the teeth for a long time.
Okay.
So then it that was also the crazy thing. I rolled into that treatment. So I wasn't expecting to get the treatment that day, but they were like, okay, now there's a free spot. Let's do it today. And that's where it all went wrong because I didn't really know what was coming. And then before I knew, I already had shaved down my own teeth. Or the dentist did, right? So, and I was in the chair thinking, okay, let's get through it. Maybe it will get better eventually, but I didn't know nothing, of course. So, yeah, and then my whole life went 180 in a bad way, basically.
Oh, wow. Your story sounds a lot like mine. So they shaved down how many teeth?
4.
4 on upper, lower?
Upper front teeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they shaved down 4 upper and then they put the crowns on them.
Yeah, I never had bad teeth or bad health. I had excellent dental, actually. Only I had a bit of gaps because I had never wore braces. So I had tiny teeth, but gaps, but it was all healthy. So I was always feeling top, very good. And then I did this quite invasive thing, what also is quite big. I did it in Germany, not in the Netherlands. Apparently in Germany, they do the bigger stuff. Here, it's more cautious. So, I got a trauma from that, and that started a lot.
And so they only changed your front teeth and they didn't change your back teeth at all?
No. He filled up my wisdom teeth. That was how he started. Only one wisdom teeth side I had pulled already, and the other side he filled it up, he not pulled it, and that's what he did before the crowns. So I was thinking, okay, and that's a bit
And when he did the crowns in the front, were the teeth very different from your original teeth? Like, did it change how your bite came together?
Mate, 100%. It went all wrong because I was in the chair and the chair is backwards, right? So my jaw was falling backward and they put them all inside so they know how to make the crowns, right? So I was leaning back and the crowns were way thicker. So when I put it on, I could not close my jaw because it hits all the crowns at the front. Because my jaw was leaning back. I have a bit of a mobile jaw. That's what that is. And so it's measured wrong because you have to sit up straight, right? And then you have the normal position, not when you lean backward.
Okay, so when you finished the procedure, your bite came together differently and it felt
very differently.
And then can you describe the next couple months? Like what happened? What did you feel?
It was very terrible because I was panicked, basically. I was panicked because Also, the teeth hurt inside quite a lot. So I had nerve pain as well. Yeah, so he shaved down the bits of the crowns to make more space, right? So that the jaw could come together. But it was all, yeah, it was too messed up, basically. It was, and I had to go back to Netherlands to get it fixed here. Because in Germany, the rule is if you go to one dentist, you cannot go to another one. So if he did the treatment, I cannot go just to another dentist to say, okay, can you fix it? Because then the other dentist would say, I didn't do this work, right? So, yeah, that's how it went.
Okay.
Yeah.
From like they're worried about liability.
Yeah,
Kind of.
100%. And I almost wanted to sue him, or I wanted to get him to have a look or to get something back. But no, I had to go back to Netherlands and then it didn't stop because eventually I had the teeth pulled actually. Now, so I now have a retainer. So
You had to get
great.
all your front teeth pulled.
The two front teeth and one teeth next to it. Because the teeth, yeah, crazy. At first, I got the root canals because the teeth were hurting too much. Because he was quite rough with the crowns. And eventually I got them pulled. Because I'm not a big fan of root canals also. So
Wow.
that's, yeah.
So you have implants and retainer, or you just have a retainer?
I just have retainer.
Okay. So there's like fake teeth in the retainer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That must have been traumatic, no? Like at 20-something years old.
Bro, crazy. It was crazy traumatic. It was just crazy.
And like besides the teeth and things hurting, did you feel other things going wrong with your health or your body?
Massively. Way more than the teeth, actually. When I was getting the teeth pulled out, I was thinking in my mind, maybe my health is going to get better for some reason. I don't know. But my health was declined for about 6 years, but that had to do with the bite. It started with teeth grinding for me. So I got the damage from that's why they placed the crowns, actually. So I had tiny damage, but it was not that much damage. But I had also my molars. I grind them a little bit too much over the years. So I had sensitive teeth. Then I heightened. This was another dentist, like about 5 years ago, heightened the molars, but he made them too high. So he put quite a thick layer on top, so it wouldn't fit together anymore also. So that was then the other issue I had with my bite. So now my bite was too high. So that's another thing that also happened.
Wow. So you put something on top of your molars and you made it too high. But it was a locking bite, right? Like it wasn't...
It was locking, but but the teeth were too sensitive. And I was thinking, okay, if he can heighten them a little bit, it will be better and blah, blah, right? So, in theory, that would sound nice, but I noticed over the years, practically, it comes so precise. It comes actually from a millimeter of a millimeter how good the position of your teeth and your bite is, you know?
Yeah. So what year was that they added that?
That was 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did your health do after that? Did you feel any change, better or worse?
The thing was, it was worse because it was too high. So then I had to go back to a lot of dentists to polish it, to make it lower so that it would fit better. But it took also a very long time because basically they cannot find the spots where to lower it. So I had to go to a special dentist who used a T-scan. And this, you know this device, right? Or no?
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah. And then he could see, okay, there's too high and there's too high. And that cost me also a couple of years to come back every month to have it adjusted. Yeah,
see, this hits on one of my things that I realized.
Yeah.
I call it the lingual bite, right? And I actually credit my friend Marcello. He figured it out, and I just like tested it and figured out he was right. But that was where, like, when you put your jaw, when you put your head up, the jaw goes back into retrusion, like the jaw goes backwards. Put your head down, the jaw comes a little bit forward into protrusion, right?
Yes.
And those bites need to be supported by the cusp of the teeth.
Right.
And so, like, a lot of dentists, and this is why orthodontics is completely wrong, is that when they change your teeth around, they think, okay, like, you can just make sure the teeth come together in a single rest position.
Yeah.
But, like, on a healthy bite, even if your teeth are really crooked, like, you'll generally find that, like, when your jaw's in retrusion, like, the bite kind of comes together in a different position.
Yeah.
right? And when you're in protrusion, the bite comes together in
Yeah.
another position, and those positions are supported, right? And
Right.
we figured this out because we had messed up our bites, like we'd had them messed up by dentists, and then me and this guy
Yeah.
Marcello, we both did star rectus, so our jaw was coming together differently, and so we
Yeah.
were trying to figure out like what is the correct human bite. Right.
Yeah.
And so we would just test on ourselves with these splints that we would adjust ourselves, and we would
Yeah.
make impressions. And so like we would create a splint that would just hold the jaw in like a rest position,
Right.
but we would like feel weird and things would go in a circle. And then so like I would try locking my jaw forward, and I would try locking my jaw back. I even tried locking my jaw to the side, and I was like, wow, like I'm always like going in circles, and I feel like I'm getting worse. And then Marcello figured out, no, like you need to register this splint. Like, so basically like you would register in two different positions. You would register it in retrusion and then protrusion. And so if you do that with like wet resin, we would use. You could also do it in polymorph, but it's harder.
Yeah.
So if you did it in red resin, you'd have like a bump between these two positions. So like your teeth would kind of slide over this bump from this position to this position.
Yeah.
And so Marcello went really deep on that, but like we both did that to ourselves. We're like, wow, this works. Like this feels good. Like we're healthy, like we're improving. But the reason why Reviv works is because you can also just raise the height and make it flat so that there's no occlusion. So like the two bites that are healthy are either you need to create this lingual occlusion if you want a locking bite, like if you want the teeth to come together upper and lower.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to do with a dentist, in my view. Like the only way you're going to do it is to actually register on like wet resin, and then because like the math is really hard. Like if you were to try do this in algorithm, like having your teeth come together in these two different positions, like it's just like a lot of like
that's difficult. Yeah. It's precise, right?
Yeah. So you could have also just put it on a flat, but it sounds like they always created a locking occlusion.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I noticed that difference with the back and the front. If it's imbalanced, so if it's too high on the back or too high on the front, if you don't have that rest position where you're talking about, so no rest position, then a lot of issues occur for me. What I had with the bite heightened, my jaw couldn't rest, so I was basically sticking out my tongue to rest my jaw. Then you have a sign like, oh, something is wrong because it's too high or too low. And it comes very precise on how high or how low that jaw is, basically. That's what I noticed. But
well, yeah, see, this is where I view, like this gets into TMJ dentistry, which I was pretty deep in back when I first started. And Marcello was even much deeper, and he really knew this stuff well. But when you get into the TMJ dentistry world, this is stuff that they're talking about all the time. Like you need to have the perfect height, and small little changes in where you have the height can make a massive difference. And the thing is, and I would test that, and I'd gone to some dentists that had these kind of theories, and I would always go in circles.
Okay.
Yeah, they would reduce a little height, or they would increase a little height, and they're always about trying to find the perfect bite. A lot of these
okay, true.
Right? And like I figured out, at least in my view, that like they're all completely wrong. Like there is no perfect bite. Yeah. And the bite, like as long as you stick to these rules of adding height and keeping it flat.
Yeah. Now
every single human
that's not good, right? To keep it too flat.
That's fine actually. Like it's gonna be hard. But if you don't have if your upper and lower teeth don't come together in a locking position, rather like for example on my son, we raised his back lower last teeth with composite and it's flat.
Yeah.
He's like that for 4.5 years and he only improves. Like his palate took off, his whole skeleton changed, everything. And he's only making contact on his last tooth on either side on a flat lower surface, right? Flat teeth are like this on top. They're flat.
Yeah.
Upper back teeth. So he's only making contact on that one spot and everything's improving. And I did this to myself for a short while back in 2019, and I saw that it worked. That was in 2020. You had this dentist that was changing the height. Yeah. Then what kind of happened after 2020? Like, what did you experience?
So the height, it was too high. So I had to go back to find a bit of a better bite. But you're right. I noticed there can never be a great position because you will always lean into certain spots. But mine was way too high that it was an issue for me, and it was blocking something. I don't know what it was blocking, but I had to go lower, and then I noticed I felt better, you know. But
Yeah.
it took quite a long time. It's actually funny in Thailand, because I was in Thailand 2014. I went to a dentist there as well, and they are a bit more open there, so they would say, okay, you know, adjust a little bit. And then I found, by coincidence, a good adjustment that I felt the good height again. So, and I immediately felt better. So I had actually crazy, I'm not sure why, but something was blocking. Maybe it was the nerve in my neck. Something was blocking. I felt continuously very drained. And I think it was because of the bite. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, my experience is because I was in that phase where I was
Yeah.
like looking for the right bite, right?
Yeah.
And trying all these different things. And
Yeah.
when you're in the wrong bite,
Yeah.
what I concluded is you will come up with many reasons as to why you're in the wrong bite, but they're
Yeah.
usually wrong. Like I would be like, oh, like my jaw is too much to the right and I got to move it to the left, and or I got to like
Yeah.
more height. But the fact is, like, you've screwed up these different positions.
True.
So it's not as simple as like, oh, it's got to be a little lower or it's got to be a little bit
Yeah.
here or whatever. Like it's more that like your jaw needs several positions. You've now screwed it up.
Yeah.
And so it's going to feel uncomfortable and weird. And you're going to make up some reason why you think that is. Right. And
Yeah.
like, if you've ever, like, I was in all these TMJ Facebook groups and like,
Yeah.
there's hundreds of posts with people like you're still saying what you are like, oh,
Yeah.
like I'm trying to find the right bite. And
Yeah. Right.
there's this thing called neurological dentistry.
Uh-huh.
And they're all about trying to find the right bite. And like all these people are going in circles. Anyway.
Okay. But what you're saying, you need multiple positions to bite down, but they need to have good contact, or no?
They don't even need to good contact. You just need to support those positions, right?
Yeah,
Like, look at my bite.
Okay.
You know, my bite. So it's all about like if your teeth lock. My teeth don't lock. My bite is non-existent, right? Like I make contact only on my front teeth. My teeth are relatively like worn down. I took all the composite I had on them off, right? Like my bite by any dental standards should give me tons of issues.
Right.
Like it's flat contact on the front teeth. Everything's worn down. Like but I'm like improving a lot by the day. And I'm sure that because I know like, okay, I either sleep with a mouth guard or I do my stretches and like I'm putting force outwards rather than force coming in.
Yeah.
So like there is like all this stuff about like, oh, you need the right bite. Like I think it's all BS. You know, like if that was true, you know, we've got many thousands of people doing Reviv now. Most of them. A lot of them, if they've been doing this for a while, like they're only making contact in their front teeth at some point. That's what I call unlocking the bite. And that's an interim because I view that the teeth are like the anchors to the bone, right? If you think about like an anchor on a ship, like the anchor goes into the ground and it prevents the ship from moving.
Yeah.
The teeth, when they come together, upper and lower, right, you got to remember that these teeth, like more of the tooth that you can't even see is up in this bone.
Yeah.
And these are multiple cranial bones. And therefore, like, you know, with this process we're Reviv, we're trying to like we're stretching the soft tissue, getting the bone to move outwards. And so the teeth are going to move because it's attached. The upper and lower teeth are coming together in this locking position. Every time the lower teeth come together, it's just going to push the tooth, which is going to push the bone back. Right. So like every time people get stuck and they're like, I've plateaued after a couple months with Reviv. I'm like, okay, did you unlock the bite? And they almost like, I haven't found a person yet that said they were plateaued that like had unlocked their bite. If you unlock your bite, like you're going to get progress for quite a while. But if you don't unlock your bite, like you're going to get a little bit of progress at the beginning and then you're going to plateau.
Oh, okay. Because it's locked in one position or it's
locked in one position because the upper and lower teeth are coming together in that fixed position.
Yeah. So I don't have that issue so much because I have the retainer and I never had much contact in front. For me, my jaw was quite movable always, you know?
Yeah.
So I felt quite good always. But since I'm starting Reviv since last year, I do notice, I'm still trying to figure out why it is, but I do notice a lot of progress in my health, I'm talking about it in my YouTube as well. Like, I don't get sick anymore.
Yeah.
I don't get the flu. I don't get the cold, whatever. I feel better mentally. I feel way more energy also. So I'm like quite. Before I felt some day very drained, and the other day a bit more energy. But I had a lot of health issues before, so for me it was different. But now my energy is through the roof. To be honest, it's great. Yeah, and maybe it's because of the stretch, because of the Revive gives, or what is it? What is that happening? What's your theory?
Yeah. So my overarching theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this goes into how deep I think this goes, is that
Mm-hmm.
I think that the human skeleton and the skull have some
Mm-hmm.
physics to them,
Yeah.
and that when it collapses,
Yeah.
like your skull collapses in on the brain, the skeleton kind of collapses in on itself and twists. That
Yeah.
is what people call aging when it happens
Yeah.
slowly,
Mm-hmm.
right? And these physics are related to the teeth and related to the fact that like you need a certain dental height and how
Mm-hmm.
these jaw positions. And if you screw up, like if you took off a lot of dental height or you screw up your teeth with orthodontics or extractions,
Yeah.
whatever, you're going to accelerate this collapse. You're going to accelerate this physics.
Yeah.
And these physics are, in my view, probably the root cause of almost all disease, the root
Uh-huh.
cause of almost all like mental health issues, the root cause
Uh-huh.
of all neurological disease. It is the root cause of aging, in my view, in my
Mm-hmm.
experience, right? And I'm like, like people used to think I was absolutely crazy. Like, I got thousands of people saying this now, right? Like you
Yeah.
just got to check the Revive community. Like over 4,000 people are like paid
Yeah.
to track journals, and I'm getting updates to that. So now people are starting to say like, oh wow, like your teeth relate to some physics that like
Uh-huh.
that's not a far stretch. And these physics are what hold up the skull and skeleton. So to get back to your question, basically these physics can be put into reverse. So when it's
Right.
put into reverse, it means the skeleton is unwinding. The skull is actually expanding outwards. The cranial
Ah.
bones are going into a better position.
Yeah.
And like this whole thing about you not getting sick, like I'm going on 49 years old. I
Yeah.
eat crap all day. I probably average 12 to 14 hours of work every day, and I work every weekend at least 8 hours. Right?
Yeah.
Today's Saturday for me.
Yeah.
I haven't taken a vacation day in a year and a half.
That's
Right?
great.
And I blow everybody out near my age. Like I
Yeah.
gave up my medical insurance 3 years ago because I just knew, okay, I'm not going to get sick. Like it's impossible. Like I'd be like run down. I'll go into like New York City. It's cold as hell. Like I'm visiting my parents. I like have like a shitty fall coat on, and I'm walking around Manhattan. It's, I'm freezing my butt off. And even that, like I was thinking in my head, like, all right, if I'm gonna get sick, I'm gonna get sick now.
Yeah.
And even then, I just couldn't get sick. Like it was
That's
impossible.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah, but I noticed it in because I'm working in construction. I noticed it. People getting sick. People always have something, but I haven't had anything, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
not even a running nose or something, or like the cough, or like which you get quite quickly.
Yeah.
And I was getting that before Revive. I did get that more often. So
Yeah. And this, in my view, is just like the first step.
Yeah.
If you continue your journey, right, which means like you got to make sure your bite is unlocked so things can
Yeah.
continue to move. And wearing the mouth guard eventually starts to plateau, right?
Yeah.
You've probably hit that plateau or close to it if you've been wearing it for a year.
Yeah.
And then you got to learn the stretches I talk about, right? Like, and there's some stretches that I use, but like you can honestly, anything that stretches anything in the body stretches everything in the body is my learning. So like if I stretch like this, and I usually like to stretch the body and something in the head at the same time, that's putting slack into the system, and then that slack will be absorbed by the entire body. And my experience is the entire body stretches, right? So like you could do yoga, you could do Pilates, you could just do exercise. It'll all stretch the body. And as long as you're wearing a mouth guard at night and you don't have a locking bite, you're going to keep all those gains. So whereas like with aging, you're typically collapsing.
Yeah.
I find that with this process, as long as you're sticking to those rules and you're doing, and then like you're expanding, and then the stretch is just increasing the speed. Like that's where it becomes a drug, right? Like you start thinking, all right, like maybe this guy's not crazy. Not getting sick is like, that's like table stakes. I can get to perfection.
Yeah.
Like I honestly think like every single guy was designed to be jacked. Look like a model. I don't know, like not like a runway model, but more like just like some jacked dude, like from like a Viking. Like I have a feeling like we can all look like that.
Interesting. Well, I do notice since I'm wearing the Revive, the imbalances I had in my face evened out more and more. I don't know. It's like it's more symmetrical. My face became more symmetrical, and for some strange reason also, I started to be more social. And people start to gravitate more towards me. I'm not sure if it's because of
Yeah.
the energy inside or it's because of the outside looks. But even if I walk into a store and people want to have a little conversation, or I get a positive reaction basically. Literally before I was thinking I want to leave here this country because everybody is so individualistic, so boring. And it's funny to see that since the Revive, I'm now doing the I have the XL, the latest Revive. Especially since I'm wearing that one, I have the most results. But I'm not sure if it's because of the stretch or something else. But yeah.
Some bigger size helps a little bit, but I think it plateaus.
Yeah, it does plateau.
Like I would work now hard on stretching because
Yes. Okay.
anything stretch so one of my definitions to the end finishing this is you shouldn't have anything tight in the body. Like I think everyone is supposed to have perfect flexibility.
Yeah.
And so that is one thing I saw back when I first took this to the end in 2000. So, and then I screwed it up. But I just kept improving my flexibility. It was pretty much like perfect. Yeah. So if you can find anything tight in your body, that means that you can improve. And you just got to keep that in a stretch. And I also like to, stretch the body.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
The other thing I was gonna say, like a lot of people are saying what you're saying, like, and I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I went up and down on what you're saying about like people thinking you're approachable, wanting to talk to you. Yeah. Like because I was a relatively social guy, and then when 2014 dentist drilled my teeth, like I sank like a rock. All of a sudden, like nobody wanted to like be near me. Oh, and for a guy that was like relatively social his whole life, and then you feel like this loser. And you're trying to like beg people to like chat with you and make relationships that work, and it was impossible. Yeah. Right. And then I went back to that. Like I improved a little. I went back to that in 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah. And so it was like a yo-yo where I was like, oh wow, like there's a very strong neurological connection and your personality and whatnot. Yes. And so now I'm coming back. I'm like, I know exactly what you're saying. Like I got like, I don't even try to be friendly with people, and they like. A lot of people just think I'm like this friendly dude and need a lift or something, right? Oh, that's so funny. But it's just like, it's like energy that comes off your body when you're getting healthier, I think.
It's energy, but I also noticed like, because the looks also improve. You see nowadays, right, with looks maxing, a lot of people do that. The looks do improve a little bit, and that gives also better... I don't know if it's true, but I read online, if your face is more symmetrical, right, you're perceived less as a threat. When I see someone that's very beautiful and very symmetrical face, automatically you're kind of drawn towards them. At least that's me. But I'm not sure if it's because just of the looks, but I do think looks play also a role in that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how you look on.
I think symmetry and that stuff plays a role, but I think like I've seen enough examples where I think someone that was pretty good looking, but like their neurology was off. Okay. And people would stay away from them.
Right. True.
So like you'll see those examples too, where like the person's pretty good looking, but something's like negative, or like people are like veer away from them, right? Because they're like something neurologically is off with that person. So I do think like there's a big, and then you'll always see like the kind of like the fat slob, funny looking dude, like like there's probably a lot of examples on Saturday Night Live. Yeah. Where like the guy looks super friendly, but he's got a lot of issues. Right? But like neurologically, I think he's healthy.
Interesting. Yeah, that now that you say that, since I do feel neurologically better, this goes better. These areas in my life do go better. Yeah, that's true. Interesting.
Yeah. There was this chat on school the other day, and I was someone was saying how like they feel healthier and they're more like engaged in life, and like that for me is the biggest thing for the folks that lost it. Like you kind of lost it for a while, and I lost it for a while. Yeah, is that instead of going through life like when you're not doing well, like you feel like life's just a burden. You're like you like worry about things. You're like, I would always think about when can I retire? Like I just want to be able to relax. Yeah. Right. So life feels like a burden when you're not doing well.
You don't want to.
When you're doing well, like life is just like you live it. Like I'm not like I have more stress and shit going on in my life now than probably at any point in my life, right? Yeah. Because Revive's gotten pretty big and like it's a lot of work. Yeah. But I don't feel it. Like I'm just like I'm living life, like.
I like it. I like that. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I always thought of myself I'm lazy. That's what I was told when I was younger sometimes. Yeah. sometimes these things can influence you, right? If you from childhood. But since I'm wearing Revive, I'm not lazy at all. I'm super active. I see other people. I think, oh, that's lazy, or why is so small? I don't know. I'm very physically also active because I'm also into
Yeah.
sports and stuff, and I have a physical job. But I do not notice much issues, you know. So that's
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting. And I thought before of myself always like, oh, I'm gonna do a little bit of work. I need to rest after doing a little bit of work. I need to have time to recharge, but I don't have that so
Yeah.
much anymore. This is interesting. Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I saw that from the other side because I was
Mm.
relatively healthy as a kid,
Yeah,
and I always did good in school, and I like worked a lot. And then when this dentist drilled my teeth,
yeah,
I just didn't want to work. Like every time, like I would think about, oh my god, I gotta like work, and I
yeah.
would just keep trying to put it off. And then when I would sit down and like sometimes I have the new spreadsheets, I would look at the spreadsheet and I like zone out and like say,
Ah,
okay, no, I need to take a break. And I started to understand all these people like earlier in my life that I made fun of. Right? Like I had this
uh-huh.
one guy, Peter, who kind of had ADHD, and we did an MBA together, and like we would study together in the library. And he would always say, oh, I have a lot of back pain and blah, blah, blah. And we would sit down. I would start studying for exams, whatever. And the guy would be like, all right, like 5 minutes later, the guy would be checking his Yahoo Sports scores. This is in 2005. I
Ah,
was like, Pete, man, like I want to try to help you. Like you can't do this. Now I get it. Like there was nothing wrong with Pete. Like he wasn't lazy innately. It
yeah.
was just like he had some collapse going on that was like interrupting his ability to focus.
Interesting, yeah. Okay, and that collapse are you talking about? Can that cause, besides being tired, also other things, like, for example, anxiety or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm talking about
maybe, yeah?
soul crushing the brain.
Yeah, because sometimes I think about, interesting. Okay.
Like I know that that's happening. And when I took this to the end, like it was very clear at the end. I haven't gotten there yet,
Hmm.
but you literally feel at the end like I was like stretching the face wider at the very
Yeah,
end. Like you're doing it little by little during this process, but at the end, when I got rid of this crease, which is one
yeah,
sign of you hitting the end, I would like literally like I would just like move my cheek wider and I like move this wider and like the eyes would stretch out. And you're like, wow, like, did I just like stretch my skull wider? Like at the end, it becomes very obvious how this thing just stretches. And
uh-huh,
like, you just like from the soft tissue widened. And then the
yeah,
cranial bones kind of follow suit.
yeah,
And you can just imagine this brain, which is housed in this whole thing,
yeah,
is now not compressed. Right. So like
yeah.
when even yourself, like you're saying, like you're improving all this stuff, you're
Mhm.
looking better. But I can tell you, like the Philip who is done, you're gonna have like a face that's like so much wider even, and
Yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah, yeah,
perfectly symmetrical. You're
yeah.
like, and you're gonna look like the guy from 300.
Yeah, yeah, right. Interesting. But it makes a lot of sense, yeah. But it's kind of, if you would think logically, like, yeah, if the skull has more space, the brain has more space, everything has more, it's more outward, not inward. Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it just inflates like a balloon.
Yeah, it does, yeah. But I would then think if it would inflate more, it would cause you to be more stressed, fearful, in the lower type of emotions.
No, I don't think like
What
I
would
just
be
view it
the
as like there's a couple assumptions I've learned to make. One is that
Mm.
when you reinflate the body in the skull, like you realize how smart the body is.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, the body is like, as long as you're like reinflating it, it's going back to the way it was designed. And it was designed, in my view, extremely well. And I like to say that it was designed for perfection. So, like,
Mhm.
people like, oh, if you're going to inflate too much, you're going to look weird. No, like, it's kind of like a balloon, like a Mickey Mouse balloon with the Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
shape. And as you inflate that thing, it's not going to like start looking like some weird because it was already designed to look like Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so the more you inflate, like eventually it's gonna look like Mickey Mouse, and it's just gonna stop. And that's like the human body. You're gonna inflate until you look jacked, great, and
Uh-huh.
it's gonna stop. And your function when you do that, because the body is designed well, is gonna be amazing.
Okay,
Right,
interesting.
and if you want evidence of that, just look at all the people that have like these amazing bodies naturally.
Yeah.
Like pro wrestlers, pro
Yeah.
UFC, and they function amazing. Like you hear their stories, like they never get sick. They're like energized all the time. They're happy all the time, right? Like look at LeBron James. Like I was watching, the guy had amazing structure for almost his entire life, and like what you hear about his personal life is like the guy always like is like joking around and he acts like a kid. Yeah, because like when you're that jacked, like it's natural.
Okay. Now I have now something pops in my mind that relates to this, if we talk about sports, athletic stuff. With these crowns, what I had with my crowns, but you see it now a lot nowadays. People put on crowns, people put on veneers. to improve their looks, right? The dentistry sells it like the smile is important. But I see a lot of people who do this and their performance declines. I like fight martial arts. I watched a lot of martial arts, the UFC, and here in Netherlands, kickboxing is very big. I like to watch this. But why is that? That people who get the crowns or the veneers, they have a bigger chance of decline in their performance.
I mean, this relates back to what we were talking before.
Yeah.
Because when you put crowns, veneers depends on which ones. If you just put veneers in the front, it may not affect your occlusion. So if you change the occlusion, and by occlusion I mean how do the upper and lower teeth come together, right? So to change the occlusion, usually you're only making contact from about your premolars, right? So if you change premolars to molars, you're changing the occlusion, and you're going to change how these different jaw positions come together. And then as soon as you mess that up, now the skull is coming in. The skeleton is twisting. And this is why I've written about a number of athletes in my Substack where they go down. Brett Favre, for example, like he did his braces and then his career just dropped like a rock. Patty, the UFC fighter. He did braces a while ago, and like now his profile.
I can see it. Yeah, right. And then you can mentally want whatever you want, but physically or the biomechanics where you talk about a lot, right? It's just gonna not make it.
Physical and mental are like this; they're intertwined.
Yeah,
right. I wrote this one article. I was like, "What is innate about our personality?" Because if you knew me when I was doing crappy and you knew me now, like there's so many things that are different about my personality. And so I was like, I don't think there's much that's actually innate to our personality. Like the Ken who's like inflated and happy is just a very different personality from the Ken that's like doing crappy.
Okay.
And there's not much that like held constant. So I just think like your mental and your personality is so wired to your biomechanics.
So that collapse in 2014 for you, that incident collapsed for you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I very quickly went down, not just physically, like my body, my neck changed, my face changed, but like my ability to concentrate. Like I had to type everything that people told me because I couldn't retain any information for months.
Crazy.
And the mental, like I felt like a hermit. I didn't want to go out of my house. And I was 37 years old, right? And like none of my habits had changed. So I knew, okay, this is the teeth. So you're doing Reviv for almost a year. And now like, what's the goal with the YouTube and what's your longer term goal? Like,
well, what I described, my story had a lot of impact on me. I lost my health basically for years, and I had to crawl out of it myself because I was the only one that was pushing, going back to this dentist, trying new stuff. I tried a lot of stuff out, and I did a lot of things. Also, therapy, emotional work, diets. I tried all these diets, and now I found out this bite, occlusion, all the dental, it has so much impact on your overall health, and it's so unknown. Nobody talks about it. No doctors will look at it. Even the dentists themselves, they don't really know the impact it has. That's what I noticed because I've been past quite a lot of dentists. Maybe 10 different, maybe more, 10, 15 different ones. If someone don't get it, I will go to the next one. Like, it's not so difficult here to do that. I noticed it's a very unknown subject. It's a very unknown, and I want to get out that information. I want to get out that message for people who are struggling maybe also with their health, because I thought I had fibromyalgia. That's what I thought, but I didn't. I don't have that, but I thought I had that, or like the doctor would tell me, and the dentist would tell me, oh, it's you. It was always my fault for some reason. So I feel like I want to get not revenge, but I want to share and get out that information for people who maybe are struggling and have fake symptoms. And they get no answers. They get no help. They will stay at that point, And I think this can be a great way to improve that as well with a Mouthguard. Like I started with the Reviv. When I saw your channel, I thought, okay, interesting. I could relate a lot to what you were saying, and I already had the experience of the dental and the everything that had so much impact on me. So that I thought, okay, I'm gonna double down on this, because I tried so many stuff. I tried all the diets, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And like what you pointed to are the same structural issues with the system
Yeah.
You know, like even like dentistry, you think about like even like I'm sure a lot of dentists understand that they're impacting things that are beyond teeth, right? Like they'll probably get,
Uh-huh.
especially
Hmm.
orthodontists, like you probably get people coming back like, well, why do I have these headaches? Do I have these other
Yeah.
issues? Right? And the dentist here is like, oh, I don't know, you probably have some other issue. Go see a doctor, right?
Yeah.
And that is what they legally have to do, especially in America.
Yeah.
The minute they
Okay.
try to look outside their lane,
Yeah.
they are opening themselves up for a lawsuit, right? And like the
Uh-huh.
Muse are a good example of, okay, like if you start saying stuff outside your lane, like the whole dental orthodontic industry is going to come after you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
dentists and orthodontic, like they cannot really speak up because there's a standard of care, at least in the US, that they have to stick to. So
Uh-huh.
like it's almost like a very bad career for creative
Yeah.
thinkers, right? Like
Hmm.
you might know that, okay, like I'm screwing people up, but you
Yeah.
know what? Like I already paid for all my studies, and like I got a family to feed, and I'm not allowed to do anything that's not standard of care.
Yeah.
So I'm just like I would, if I was put in that position, I'd probably do the same thing. You know, like I'd like people coming in and saying, oh, I got this issue, that, or like I don't feel good after your braces, I don't feel good after your extractions. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you might have like fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that doctor, right? That's what I'm gonna say, even if I know I'm like damaging people.
Yeah, interesting. And also with the crowns, because that's what the feeling what I got when I got those crowns. Eventually, I heard, oh, it was not really necessary for you to take this, which made it worse for me because I felt a lot of regret and a lot of grief losing my own healthy teeth. Because your own teeth are better than fake teeth, obviously.
Yeah.
So I felt like, oh shit, I made a wrong decision, but why I would do that if it was not necessary? And then I found out, okay, these dentists also have a debt, right? They do studies and they have a lot of debt and they want to get, if you get four crowns or if you can do bigger treatments, it's good for dentists
That's
financially.
how they make. That's how they make the good money.
That's how they
So
make
again,
good money, of course.
yeah, and I've met some dentists in the past. So
Yeah.
I have this profile based on the dentists I've met. Is that like your average dentist? You got to think about what motivates you to become a dentist. Like it's kind of sucks to say, okay, I'm gonna spend my life looking at people's mouth in this one
Yeah.
office, right? Like it's not as glitzy as being a doctor. And like usually what you find who becomes a dentist, like they had the ambition and they want the respect and the money, but they don't have the intelligence to kind of become a doctor. At least I'm talking about from the US. In the US, it's very
Okay.
hard to get into medical school. So
Yeah.
like the dentists are like these people that are like, I'm not good enough to become a doctor, but I want the respect and I want the money that is almost like a doctor.
Hmm.
And I'm willing to like do the shitty stuff. So I'm
Hmm.
going to become a dentist. And so you have this profile of like these relatively like poor thinkers. They, you almost have to like relegate yourself to like an entire career of dentistry. Like you almost like that's kind of the profile you almost need. And
Yeah.
so of course they're like very bad at kind of like thinking creatively about whether
Yeah,
they're
they
doing the
do.
right thing.
I see them a little bit like they like to work with their hands a lot. That's what I heard them say. Also, they like to work with their hands and to fix, with their hands. But it's I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sure they do
maybe.
also do good stuff and they can help people. And maybe if you really need a crown, if you have a very bad teeth, okay, then a crown will be better, right? If you can fix that, maybe. Or what do you think? Well, I think if you with crown or veneer healthy teeth, that's never a good idea. It's never a good idea to do the two healthy teeth. To shave them down and to put a fake teeth on top.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's generally not good to do, but yeah, like what you said at the beginning was very right. It's like that is the high margin stuff that gets them to afford the bigger house and the second car, third car.
Yeah, okay, I
So
got you.
like their whole job is about finding those upsells, right? It's kind of like
Yeah,
choosing a career as a used car salesman. Like unless you're willing to like say some things that are a little bit on the edge of being like lies, you're just
yeah,
not going to be a good used car salesman and you're going to like live a
yeah,
shitty life. Right? Like
yeah.
if you just did everything honestly as a dentist and you never tried to upsell crowns and stuff, you would be the dentist that, still drives the old beat up,
Makes sense, makes sense.
it's been about an hour, so maybe let's wrap up. Any final thoughts or things you wanted to share?
Well, just what I said earlier, like that message of looking into your occlusion, looking into the whole dental and that whole stretch, that whole thing what you do with Revive as well, might be like a hack. It's like it's a different way of looking at it, but it might be a get out of way, a keep way to really improve a lot of areas in your life. That's what I noticed over the past almost decade. So, and I've been quite deep and long into finding answers, let's say like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with you, and I think as you do this journey longer and you think about it, like I like to think of myself as a logical person, right? Like,
Hmm.
and so it's been 12 years since 2014 when I first entered this game and did a
Hmm.
lot of experiments based on logic of what I've seen on myself and others and how I've seen this work. Like how big this goes in my guess. Like
Hmm.
people are just not going to understand how big this is going to be in 20 or 30 years. Like I'm talking
Yeah,
that this is potentially the root cause of almost all disease, aging,
interesting.
and beauty. And if you think
Huh?
about like, okay, like if I'm potentially right on those three things, you're talking about something that changes the world more than anything in the history of the world.
Uh
So
huh.
like that's what I like to like just tease into people. Like I'm not saying like I want to take
Yeah.
credit. Blah, blah, blah. It's not
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
credit. It's just saying like I'm introducing a topic and
Uh
saying
huh.
that I think it goes that far. And now let's see how the next 20 years plays out.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised if it
Yeah.
ends up being right. Anyway, thank you
Perfect.
very much, Philip, for this time. And we should do this again soon.
Let's do
And
it.
yeah, it's been a terrific conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ken.